YouTube, what's up, baby? We back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and today we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi Ep.3 entitled Part 3. Alright? So if you've been to this channel before, you already know how we do it. We started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and we on to the next one, right? So, again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 3, entitled Part 3. I guess they're not going to have any titles for the episodes. It's probably just going to be Episode 3, Part 3, Episode 4, Part 4, Episode 5. Like, I don't know why they didn't make a title, but hey, it is what it is, right? Okay, so again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 3, Part 3. So we start off with Obi-Wan trying to reach out to Qui-Gon Jinn, probably just because of the fact that that's his master, his deceased master, but also him, finding out that Anakin is still alive and is alive as Vader, and, Vader's after him, and, just, he probably wanted to confide in somebody that, he really, could trust and everything like that, beyond any measure. And that would be Qui-Gon Jinn, especially just the way that Qui-Gon Jinn is, he always was kind of a great Jedi, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't follow every rule of the Jedis, but he was a Jedi, But anyways, then he has memories, not necessarily, well, maybe for him his memories playing in his head, but for us, we just hear like people talking, things that happened in the past, whether it was, Qui-Gon or Yoda, whoever it was, we just hear those things playing in his head. And then we also see simultaneously that as this stuff is going on for Obi-Wan, Vader is starting to get suited up for the day, you know what I'm saying? And we see how his suit, how they put this suit on him. And it's pretty cool. Then we see Vader get in contact with Reva. So the third sister's name is Reva. So we finally got that revealed to us. I've been calling her the third sister. I feel like that was stupid, but finally now we have her name. Her name is Reva. So he tells her, that I've been watching you, you know what I'm saying? And I know what it is that you want. Now, you get me what I want, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I will give you what you want, which is move you up to Grand Inquisitor. And then, but he says, if you fail me, then you're dead. So then after that, we pick up with Leia and ObiWan, and they're still on their way. They're still on their way to safety. Obi-Wan fixes Lola for Leia, so now she has a robot, working again. And then they arrive on this planet called Mapuzo. It's a mining system, right? They're on their way to get to the meetup point that they were given that location for the meetup point with by Haja. So while on their way to the meetup point, Obi sees like a vision of Anakin, you know what I'm saying, without the Vader suit and everything like that, just him like regular, you feel me? He sees Anakin and we're just like, oh, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen him like that in a while. So then after that, Reva meets up with the other Inquisitors to talk about the plan of how they're gonna, get Obi-Wan. And I guess it's the 5th Inquisitor, the guy with the hat. He's like, yo, you're not gonna tell us what to do. Like, it's my turn to lead and all stuff like that. And then Reva's like, well, I talked to Vader and he told me that I'm leading on this. So if you want me to follow your rules, then I'll, that's what it is. But I'm following Vader. So that kind of shuts him up. And, Reva is in charge of this pack, leading them to, find Obi-Wan Kenobi and bring him in. So that way, Vader can have him. So, anyways, Leia and Obi-Wan, they get to the meeting point, but no one is there. So they figure, hey, we just need to keep moving. And then they meet up with this guy that's driving this I don't know what you want to say. Like, I guess it's equivalent to a car, And the guy's name is Freck, and they say they're trying to head to the port, and he says, I'm going to the port, so I'll just take you there. So they hitch a ride with them, and we find out that this guy is he's a civilian, but he likes the Empire. He likes their ways. He's devoted to them. So on the way to the port, Freck ends up picking up some stormtroopers, and you were like, oh my god, because you got like 6 or 7 stormtroopers, Leia and Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting in the back of this car, and it's like, things can get hairy any second. But I guess it wasn't their time to be figured out, and they end up, being able to continue their voyage to the port. And Freck ends up dropping off the stormtroopers to the area that they wanted to go to. So everything was all right still at this point. Then things get a little hairy at this next point, because what happens is they end up going to this checkpoint, and this checkpoint has stormtroopers there again. Freck tells them, hey, don't worry, there's always, this checkpoint is mandatory. I'll be right back, and then we'll get going. Freck goes up to the stormtroopers and tells them, hey, you know what? I got these people. They were trying to hitch a ride. You should probably check them out. And it's like, yo, like, you trickster, man. Trickster. So anyways, stormtroopers go where Obi-Wan is. Then they bring out this droid that's able to read his face. And then they find out that it's Obi-Wan. So Obi-Wan then has to, take out the stormtroopers that are there. And he does. And then him and Leia are about to leave the area. But then more stormtroopers come. And they're pretty much captured at that point. But there's an officer with the stormtroopers, and she ends up shooting all the stormtroopers, and we end up finding out that she's actually there to help Obi-Wan. So the Inquisitors are on their way to where Obi-Wan is now, because they definitely know exactly where he's at, because of the fact that robot read his face and identified him, and so they know exactly where he's at now. But Obi and Leia get took into this safe house by this mysterious woman that helped them out, and they're safe for the time being. And then eventually some stormtroopers come knock on the door of the safe, and there's a robot there, and he can't talk, whatever it may be. So they just leave it up to the robot to deal with the stormtroopers, and then eventually the stormtroopers leave. But because of the stormtroopers being on their tail, this mysterious woman was like, hey, you know what? We need to move up this plan we're going to fly you out of here, but we need to move it up to the time. We need to move the time up to now to fly you out, because obviously we're going to have trouble if not. So, they're getting ready to leave. And then we find out that Vader arrives on this planet with the Inquisitors. And as they're hiding out, Obi feels him, and it's like, now that this is Vader for sure, you know what I'm saying? And then Vader, as he's walking through this like little port town, whatever you want to say, he starts choking people, he starts killing people, random people, bro. He's not even asking them questions, he just killing them, bro. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So because of this, Obi tells Tala. So Tala is the mysterious woman's name, and she's working for Haja, and she's usually the one that helps the people get off and get to where they need to get to. So he tells Tala to take Leia to the pilot so that they can leave, and he says, if I'm not back to you guys within time, like, go ahead and take her and leave. You know what I'm saying? And so as he's gonna hold off, the stormtroopers and Vader and whatever else you want to say, um, they go and do that. They go in and leave. This buys them time. So then we get to the point where Vader finds Obi-Wan, and Vader and Obi-Wan actually have a lightsaber fight. And then we go back to Leia and Tala, and once Leia gets to a certain point of where she's really close to getting to the pilot, Leia tells Tala to actually go back and help Obi-Wan. I can go to the pilot, you know what I'm saying, but help him out because he needs your help. And so Tala was hesitant at first, but knowing that Leia is a smart little girl, but also she is actually right next to where the pilot's going to be, she does heed her word. So she tells Leia to keep running, get to the pilot. I'll go back and help Obi-Wan because he's probably going to need our help, or my help. So that's what happens. So, and then we also see that Reva, she ends up finding the safe house that, they were hiding in. And she ends up finding the secret tunnels that Leia and Tala are actually running through to get to the pilot, But now, like I said, Tala's headed back out there so that she can help out Obi-Wan. So I'm thinking that Reva and Tala are going to run into each other, at this point. And then after that, we see Obi-Wan and Vader. They're still continuing their fight, and eventually Vader gets the upper hand. And just as he tells the stormtroopers to, pick up Obi-Wan and put him in shackles and bring him on a ship, Tala arrives, and she ends up shooting this area on the ground where earlier it was lit by fire. So I guess it was probably gasoline or something like that on the ground, whatever it may be, whatever the liquid was that was on the ground, it was flammable. So anyways, she shoots this liquid, it turns on fire. And it basically prevents the stormtroopers as well as Vader from crossing over to get Obi-Wan. And so as the fires are burning, there's a android, like I said, that was in the safe house. He ends up coming out of the safe house to grab Obi-Wan Kenobi and to bring him to safety. So they all escape Vader. At that point, Obi-Wan, Tala, and the robot. And then Leia gets to the pilot, where the pilot's supposed to be, and she sees that the pilot is dead, and Reva's there. So now Leia's in the hands of Reva now. So she's screwed even more, man. It sucks. But that's the way that this episode ended, man. 3 of my favorite scenes would be Obi-Wan fighting the stormtroopers. That was dope, you know what I'm saying? When they were at the checkpoint, that was really dope. And then my second favorite scene would be Vader arriving and choking the people that was on Mapuzo, bro. He just arrived. You felt his presence, bro. He's not even talking. He's just walking through the town. And then just starts choking people, bro, making them float out their house, man. He killed this little young teenager, bro. He dragged this lady on the ground. I was like, yo, we knew he was ruthless, but he reminded us, yo, I am ruthless to the core. You feel me? Don't mess with me. That was a crazy scene. And then my third favorite scene would be Obi-Wan versus Vader when they were fighting with the lightsabers. It just was cool to have Vader and Obi-Wan back. You know what I'm saying? Have them on the same screen. You know what I'm saying? And have them go head to head with each other. You know what I'm saying? It was the fight, the lightsaber duel wasn't as good as you feel me, episode 3. But still, just the fact that they were fighting, it just was a precursor to their what's going to be their last duel when Obi-Wan lets Vader kill him. You know what I'm saying? As they're older. You know what I'm saying? But it just was a cool scene. I love seeing them duel. It wasn't the best fight, but still, it was still a duel. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be 3 of my favorite scenes. The grade for this, man, I got to give it a 10 out of 10 just because we see Vader. We hear the nostalgic voice of the I can't remember his name, but it's the guy that actually that does his voice for pretty much all the movies. So, you know, we get to see Anakin in his regular form again when Obi has that vision. You know what I'm saying? We get to see Vader and Obi-Wan come head to head and fight one more time, bro. It was full of great moments to me. It may have not been the best like lightsaber duel, like I said, but it still was full of great moments to me, man. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Best episode out of the 3 that we've seen so far for me. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Did you like seeing Vader, man? Were you happy, bro? Were you like shocked that they had him in the episode for so long? Were you shocked that him and Obi-Wan came to a head and started fighting, bro? Like it was a lot. It was a lot. This episode was a lot, man. But let me know what you guys thought about that in the comments down below, all right? Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie. Until next time.